All right. So they're really whatever exodus there was is really overblown. And frankly, Gary, good riddance, bro. Good, it's good not to have you here. You're a blight on society, and at least with you in Texas, you're not a blight in society that's centered in my home fucking state.
I'm tired of people thinking I'm some kind of joke.
Your dad and I agreed it would be best if you just stop being who you are and doing the things you love.
My whole life, all I wanted.
I'm afraid we found your son at a polka party.
Is to make up new words to a song that already exists.
Oh. Well, you should do that then.
But a lawyer would consider the consequences.
Does this mean you're rich, Charlie? Because if you are, we could run away together.
It is a thought.
Leaving Wichita? Damn right it's a thought.
I should be home in Kansas City watching my kids open their Christmas presents. Now I gotta waste the whole day looking for that nitwit.
Schwartz, I triple dog dare ya!
Oh, I got it now.
That's brutal.
It's the most wonderful time.
Slowly, I could feel the Christmas ember beginning to glow again.
This Organized Chaos podcast is brought to you by listeners like you. Thank you.
Hello, and welcome to another Organized Chaos podcast. The most perfect and professional and never missing a beat podcast in all of existence. You've chosen well. Thank you for listening.
You chose wisely.
Yeah. As you've heard, joining me is Bobby Quarters, and we have Ed from Pop Counterculture joining us as well. How are you guys doing?
Doing awesome.
Yeah. Does it feel awesome? It's because it's not like we've totally messed up the recording the first time and have to redo this. It's
this
just
is
genuine first time.
Well, a well-oiled machine, in
Yes.
fact.
Nailing it. We are nailing it.
More reliable than the post service.
Yeah. But yeah. we got some good movies to talk about this week. We got Weird, the Al Yankovic story. A story of a young aspiring accordion player and the struggles he had to fight up the mean streets and just maybe get some personal success.
Powerful stuff, man. Powerful stuff.
Yeah.
So deep. So deep. And then we're following it up with the Ice Harvest, a Harold Ramis movie that people don't really talk about. That honestly, they probably should.
Yeah.
They probably should.
They really should. Like, definitely one that went under the radar as like a sleeper hit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, even when it first came out, like I remember people were not really talking about it all that much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, they really didn't. And then the third movie will be the third attempt at a Christmas Story sequel, the one that just came out. I think probably the only one with a large amount of returning cast members.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Does this one have one of the Wet Bandits in it? Or is that like is that one of the
Wet
sequels?
Bandits is Home Alone. Pay attention.
No, like there's
Oh,
one
you're
where
talking about Daniel Stern.
Yeah,
no.
Daniel Stern. He was like the dad in one of the sequels.
He was in the second attempt at a sequel at one of these.
What was the second one? That's right. Which is the one where Ralphie wanted to get a car?
I don't know.
It was about him getting a car.
Well, I haven't seen the other two attempts, but yeah, there's.
I've seen them both like once, and I don't really remember either of them. They were bad.
Yeah,
well, you really got to see. I saw them both once, and I can't remember them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I kind of get them confused. They were that bad. They were interchangeable.
There was the first Christmas Story, and then the first attempt was the only one with Gene Shepard returning, who was the narrator and the author of the story. And that was My Summer Story, and I believe that was in the early 90s.
That's probably the one with the car, yeah.
Yeah, and then probably like 10 years ago, I want to say, they tried a Christmas Story 2.
Yeah.
And now we got a Christmas Story Christmas.
Yeah.
Sequel down, baby. All sequels all the time out here these days.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What? There are sequels? Sequels aren't very common anymore. What are you guys talking about? Fuck.
No. A wise man said in a sequel that sequels suck.
Yeah.
He wasn't in the next installment though, but you know.
Yeah, he didn't make it to the next one. He got
he
recast
cameoed.
actually.
He cameoed via videotape or plot convenience, but
nice. But yes, we do have news to go over. Yeah, I don't like the news this week. So
yeah, neither do I.
We're going to start out with a big one. The Colorado shooting that happened, was that yesterday?
Yeah, I think it was yesterday. I heard about it like in the afternoon or something, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure where my phone is, so I can't look up the information on it. But it was Club Q. 5 people died, 25 people were injured. Although last I heard, the 25 people they're expected to be all right. So there's at least that.
The story I have right here from CNN says 5 killed at the LGBTQ ad popped up nightclub in Colorado Springs before patrons confronted and stopped him, police say. So the patrons did stop the shooter, before he could do anything, which is awesome of them.
Yeah.
But 25 injuring 25 others, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a bummer, man. Like nobody shouldn't be having to worry about that when they're just out trying to have a good time,
No,
Yeah,
absolutely
seriously.
not. This is disturbing. The violence it's directed at the LGBTQ community. It's very disturbing, and these are just people wanting to live their lives, and my heart just goes to the families of everybody involved. This is ridiculous. These are people who just want to go out and have a good time. And some piece of shit decide to interrupt that, and I have no sympathy for him.
The grandson of a conservative Californian politician who was at least a January 6th apologist at the very least, from last I checked.
Yeah, I heard about all
Shocking.
that stuff. Yeah.
Shocking.
Yeah.
And it's
oh
so,
my.
Yeah. No, man, and it's so fucked up because we've seen this song and dance so many times. We know the Republicans are gonna say thoughts and prayers, but it's like, these are gay. It's gay people, man. Like y'all ain't praying for gay people. Y'all ain't thinking about gay people.
I'm happy you used those words too, because a certain Congress or somebody of politician from the great state of Colorado had made comments recently and has been called out for previous incredibly transphobic and homophobic phrases and slurs that she has. I'm talking, of course, about everyone's favorite Colorado politician, Lauren Boebert.
Bara Bobo.
Yeah, no, I did see her tweet essentially calling for thoughts and prayers, and my reply was simply "fuck your thoughts and fuck your prayers."
Yeah,
her thoughts and prayers are what made it happen, dude.
Yeah,
like, she manifested this
for real,
praying to Daddy Trump and Jesus Christ or whatever.
It's Trump Christ or something of that nature. I'm sure. I don't.
If anybody should be called
whatever it is.
If anybody should be called the crisis actor, it should be Lauren Boebert for acting like she gives a shit about this crisis or any crisis really that involves innocent people dying.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's safe to assume she doesn't care, and I think it's a stretch to call her an actress because she doesn't even pretend. It's like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to say this. It
requires a little bit more than a GED.
That's true. Yeah, and the shady pass is an escort for sure.
Oh, not wrong. No.
And covering up for a pedophile, on record pedophile. One in fact.
Yeah.
It's so wild to me, dude. Like it goes to show. It says a lot about the Republican Party that she's amongst their ranks, despite all the crazy shit we know about her past, her husband, her family as they currently exist now, her business. Like in the same time, she would have been ran out of the government a long time ago.
I mean, it is batshit crazy. Like I just.
I mean, I don't even know.
Someone, for someone who voted first in the 2004 election, man, I just kind of wonder about like the Republicans of that time, like the ones that weren't quite relics of the Reagan era. Like, I mean, like the McCains.
Yeah.
Ted Kennedy's and guys of that nature, or politicians of that nature. Like, I kind of wonder how they would react to the party these days, let alone even further back, but just even that era of like 50s to 70s, so many of them idolize Reagan, but I think Reagan would disagree with them on so many different things.
At the very least on immigration. I mean, I think if you were to float the idea of granting amnesty to all illegal immigrants now, like you would be called a socialist if you were to do that.
Yeah.
Well, I think a big thing people like to forget is that one of Richard Nixon's platforms when he ran was pro-environmentalism. Like, that was one of the things he campaigned on.
And he's also responsible for getting the EPA up and running, and that's like commendable. Like as shady as a guy as Nixon
as much of a
was,
piece of shit he was,
right,
but yeah.
right. Yeah. And as much as this kills me to pay him a compliment, like that's really good of him.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Nixon and Reagan really just completely shifted the trajectory of Republican politics. Just completely, between Lee Atwater and the Southern Strategy and all that shit that went down. Like you could lay it all on you could lay it on the feet of Reagan for the most part, but Nixon paved the way.
Oh yeah. Well,
yeah, absolutely.
It was so weird when
absolutely, yeah.
When W was in power, I just assumed, oh no, we can't get any Republicans worse than W. And then we're introduced to fucking Sarah Palin. It's like, oh, we can't get anybody worse than this. And it just keeps on going fucking downhill. It's like, Jesus Christ, how much further downhill can we get? Are we serious right now?
I don't know, man. I mean, I remember watching HW's funeral and the service, and I remember one part in particular where Trump had arrived. And prior to it, you see the Bushes, W and his wife, and you also see the Obamas and the Clintons and Jimmy Carter sitting over there on the end. And Dick Cheney sitting right behind, Bush. You see Trump walk in. Prior to that, Cheney had a bit of a smile. Like he was just happy to be talking to... Yeah, like not a full-on one, but like more than his usual face.
I don't think Cheney knows how to smile, but...
His face was doing something I've never seen it before.
The only time he smiles when he's looking in the eyes of a dying Iraqi child.
True.
That does bring him true joy.
Man, I gotta say, I have never seen pure hatred come on a man's face so quickly than when he sat down. I could see it in his eyes. He's thinking about to ask him if he wants to go hunting. I encourage this move, Dick. I encourage this.
But the sad thing is there was a time I grew up in a very conservative town. Even it's California, but a lot of the state's a lot more Republican than most people think.
I believe it.
Yeah, and it's just I remember everybody around me was a Republican. Like my next door neighbor was one of the best people that I ever met, hardcore Republican. And I don't think she would like, Trump if she were still around and all that. But the one thing that is unchanging about the Republicans, which is part of the reasons why we have the problems we have now, is the whole gun thing. That's the one thing that has not changed at all about the Republicans. Otherwise, in all other aspects, they've just gone completely downhill.
Yeah. Completely agree.
Well, this wasn't going to be the second story, but I feel like we're leading right into it. So a certain person announced they're running in 2024. The most shocking thing ever. I did not see this coming, except everybody saw this coming.
I was waiting for it, man. I was waiting for it.
No.
Those streams, it was a shit show at most times. I mean, I was laughing my ass off.
I couldn't help but laugh that the Young Turks is like the only place I could find to stream the entire fucking...
Yep. That's where I found it too.
Oh, man.
I mean, I did kind of mess up my algorithm for YouTube for about a couple days afterwards because I found a right-wing streaming service, and I mean way right.
Yeah.
So you watch for an hour, and then you get suggestions like, yeah, no. You're just reading the title. Yep, nope.
No, I'm used to my algorithm being fucked after all the stuff I cover for my channel.
Dude,
man, I think my favorite part of it is when he first was walking out to the podium. He came out to, and I'm proud to be an American, and kind of stood there and mimicking little arm gestures.
Right? Yeah, his tiny little fists up in the air.
Yeah, his minuscule hands. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
My wife thought I was having some sort of health problem. It's like, no,
yeah. You thought the nightmare was over, right?
Well, here
I'm just laughing and I don't know.
No, what I think is interesting about Trump is that if you looked, obviously 2020 he didn't do well, but 2022, it was almost a death knell to any candidate who had got his endorsement, with the exception of like Ohio, because I live in Ohio and it's a fucked up state. Any other state, like his endorsement was a death knell.
Yeah, those little blue cities that popped up on that particular race. They're all right.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of Ohio is where all those jokes come from about it being miserable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, like I don't know. I mean, I'm glad you said the word death knell, Bob, because that's what I'm seeing here. Like, the Republican Party, in my opinion, like they could have this is their deathbed, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like the election was like them getting being bedridden, but like Donald Trump and then the Republican response to the election, that was like the final fucking grasp of life they had left, because like right off the bat, like they walked away from the election with the worst possible lesson they could have walked away from, which is that we need to raise the fucking voting age.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, no, it was insane.
It's like, instead of like learning to like deal with younger voters and like communicate with them and talk to them, you want to just shut them out completely. Mm-hmm. It's like, there you go, dude. You just fucking cut your own wrist there, bud.
Well,
shut your own big toe off.
There you go. That's the one I was looking for.
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, what I find interesting is, so right now, Donald Trump has the Republican Party. Like, I think he could very easily win a primary, but he can't win a general at this point.
I don't know, man.
Oh man,
I don't know. I don't know if he can do that well. Like he didn't do. He couldn't get 50%. He couldn't get majority vote, and then all his endorsements went to shit. His loyalists, there's less now than ever. Like,
and there's more turncoats than loyalists now.
Yeah, we have to see how it plays out. But I think he has enough loyalists to really sway the Republican Party. We'll have to see.
Well, he still has Teddy in his pocket because Teddy has no spine.
Well,
he's got no spine whatsoever.
Well, he's a worm.
If there was one thing that was hilarious about the whole 2016 election, was just watching Ted Cruz fucking eat crow after Trump won the candidacy.
I don't know how anybody could watch Ted Cruz and support him. He's like the most disgusting person ever. Like, as much as I hate Trump, at least Trump has like kind of this dumb fucking rich idiot charm that Ted Cruz doesn't.
Kidney stones? Well, we're going to put it in a suit and call it Ted Cruz.
Yeah, except that kidney stones would be more fucking charming.
I would vote for the kidney stones.
I won't vote for the kidney stones, but I'd vote for him over Ted fucking Cruz.
Yeah,
I would listen to the kidney stones if nothing else.
I would listen to the kidneys. Hey, it's not a spineless worm. I'm sold, is all I'm saying.
Yeah.
This has a form.
All right.
It's not a spineless worm like Ted Cruz.
All right. Well, now we gotta move on to another sad story, and I'm not talking about the death of American democracy, but Jason David Frank, Power Ranger.
Yeah.
Committed suicide, I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before.
Total bummer, man.
That one's kind of a shock, like a real big shock. I mean, I've been following him through social medias because it's Tommy Oliver, like it's Tommy fucking Oliver.
Yeah,
like, and I mean, I remember him doing weekly streams of just nothing but him being positive to people watching and just being an awesome dude all around.
That's the sad truth about suicide, man, is that a lot of it is like seemingly happy people, who are just exuding positivity, and then
the world, yeah,
and then we ultimately don't know what's going on in someone's brain, and
no, we never do.
Yeah, it's a bummer, man. It's a bummer. He felt that way, and he took that route, man. I wish he would have gone seeked help or something.
No, listen, Power Rangers was a bit after my time. I feel like an old man now, but yeah. But yeah, I knew who he was. I was young enough to like it. It was in my radar, and like I knew he popped up in a couple of the different series, reprising his role. I know he's a convention regular. I don't think he didn't go to any of the Cincinnati Comic Expos I end up going to, but I know he was a regular there.
He was a regular at WizardCon here in Columbus.
Yeah, he did the convention circuit pretty regularly. He like I've seen videos of him talking to fans. He seems like he was a great guy.
Yeah. Well, I had read this, and this was all through just discords of like threads about it. That I guess he had been going through a divorce.
Divorce is rough, dude. I'm not gonna lie, that thought did occur to me during my divorce. It can get rough. It can get rough.
Yeah.
Divorce is brutal. Divorce. Frequently, you find yourself like at the bottom of the barrel, and you have to either decide to rebuild yourself or give up.
See, yeah.
It's rough. True. It's rough.
Oh yeah, man. It's
All I can say is if you're going through that, don't give up. You're stronger than you think you are. Don't give up.
And if you're having, there's avenues for help too.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to someone. I remember during the pandemic, I think everybody went through some psychological things, and I know I definitely had a period where like I really felt like I just like, not necessarily hit rock bottom, but I was definitely feeling pretty shitty about a lot of things. And I wasn't contemplating suicide or anything, but I had to talk to someone, so I actually called the suicide hotline just to talk to someone, and it was a lot of help at the end of the day. It's good to just seek out help where you can get it, even if like whatever hangups you have about it,
Isn't the suicide hotline now just 988 if you need it?
It is 988.
Yeah, so if you happen to be listening to this and if you're having any depressed thoughts or anything, don't hesitate.
Yeah, you could text or call.
Yeah, or shit, man. Like honestly, like even if you just like have had a friend you haven't talked to in a while, just say hi and catch up for a day. That sometimes that helps a lot.
For sure. But yeah, it's very tragic. Like when I first heard he died, I was like, oh my god, what happened? I heard it was suicide. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
You don't know what demons a person's going through, and if you are going through demons, don't hesitate to ask for help. Just don't.
Yeah.
Just ask for help.
Yeah, suicide ain't painless. It's only painless to the person that does it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right. This is the happy story, right? No. So I
lift the spirits just a bit.
So the next story, Bob Iger became the new head of Disney after he was the head of Disney.
Iger.
Yeah, Iger. That's it. But yeah, he passed down to Bob Chapek for like a year and a half, but he was still on the board, so he's been away from Disney for less than a year. Then Bob Chapek was booted, and he came back. I don't know what the story is. This is some corporate stuff, I'm certain. I know some people are like celebrating, some people are happy. I kind of honestly don't care.
I feel weird whenever someone who is not in like who doesn't own stock gets feels one way or the other about this,
No, like Bob Chapek has made bad moves, and Bob Iger has made bad moves. Yes, it was very based of Iger to call out Chapek when he was doing some shady stuff. I think he went out and publicly told him don't be racist, and it caused him to like reverse decision or something like that. And it was like, okay, that was based. That being said, Bob Iger is also the guy who fired James Gunn.
That's true.
This is we're not dealing with two guys with perfect track records. They just both have mixed track records. At the end of the day, I don't care that much.
Checkered.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, ultimately, I don't think Chapek was CEO long enough to cause any real lasting damage.
No.
All I know is that he. All the park enthusiasts, the people who love the Disney parks, hated the guy. They called him Bobby Chapek. I think that was his nickname.
Maybe that's what happened, because I heard it was like some sort of rush thing. Like it happened yesterday. Like they rushed Iger in, and it was like an immediate reinstatement. It's like, the fuck is going on? It must be something to do with the parks, because the public image is largely about the same. Where it's not great, but it's Disney. And
there were a lot of issues about the thing about like Disney, especially when it comes to the park, is that like it has to, it's a unique company where like corporate cynicism doesn't really work with a place like Disneyland. Like I feel like what separates Disney from other corporations that like in order to run Disney well, you kind of have to be a bit of a dreamer. You kind of have to have that sort of Walt Disney's type of imagination. And from what I understand about Bobby Paycheck, he was Bobby Chapek.
Bobby Paycheck.
Yeah, it's just
I like that, dude.
That kind of works. Though.
That really works well.
No, but yeah, like you need someone who gives a shit about art and gives a shit about the little special details. And Chapek was apparently just like a real no nonsense, profit driven kind of guy. And it's just a bad mix for Disney, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
And so a Bob steps in and replaces a Bob. I mean, such an unoriginal name, don't you think so, Bobby?
Yeah.
Bobby's over here being like, well, that's an idea. One Bob takes down the other.
Yeah. The
No,
fuck?
I'm trying to think of all the stuff that was like that they had released Disney under the Disney title under his regime. There were a few.
Iger would be huge. He did it a long time.
Yeah, if Chapek,
the guy who just got thrown out,
Chapek, we're probably just. I mean, the way Disney works, it takes so long for them to make stuff. Like, it'd probably be like another year or two before we see anything Chapek actually what's
his hands on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, he was not in there that long. So, and then I guess.
A year and a half is not even enough for a Disney movie to reach completion, even like the live action.
That is true. That is true.
Yeah, the movies getting released now were probably approved under Iger's reign when he was there before. Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
That's the best success story a weatherman has ever had, that Bobby Iger. No, that wasn't so. He was like obsessed with weather, wanted to be a weatherman.
I did not know
dream,
that.
And then he worked his way up. He was an ABC weatherman, like worked his way up to become a CEO. Like, kind of an all-American story at the end of the day.
Okay, I did not know that about him.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of all-American, the last story is Jay Leno burning the shit out of himself. Yeah. I guess he was working on his.
Today.
Yeah, he was working on his car and he got caught up in a fire. Well, working on his car, working on one of his many cars.
A car.
Yeah. Famous for his car collection because, he's a humble guy like that.
Hey, Conan O'Brien finally got his revenge, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I felt so sorry about Conan O'Brien during that shit. That was just like, come on, let him get in there. Yeah, and then let's push Jay Leno back in, and then we're gonna push Jimmy Fallon now. It's like, why?
Why?
I know. Why did he keep giving Jimmy Fallon a fucking shot? That guy's not even fucking funny.
Well,
I don't know.
I think Jimmy Fallon could probably work as like a sidekick, but like,
right? Yeah.
But Conan O'Brien was definitely better, and it's I knew it was something weird was going on there. But
Fallon could maybe pass for dinner theater.
Yeah,
not
maybe. Maybe if he can get to a fucking laughing at it.
No, I mean like this used to be a store dinner theater. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, no, Jimmy Fallon, he's not good, man. Like Jay Leno, I don't know. Like he's a human being.
When I was younger, I enjoyed Jay Leno. Not as much now, but yeah.
Yeah, when I was younger, I would laugh at Leno's stuff more, and I think Letterman's stuff went over my head. Of course, now that I've gotten older, I can appreciate Dave a little bit more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Conan.
Conan was the funniest of my life.
Conan was
easily.
Well, yeah, Conan was probably the highlight, largely for me, until we get to Jon Stewart or something like that.
Yeah, and then Jon Stewart and
Stephen Colbert before. I feel like there's one thing I agree with conservatives on is that Trump ruined fucking late night fucking TV. Jimmy Kimmel or especially Jimmy Kimmel, like when Trump was presidency, it was like the Trump hour. All right, go ahead and tell me everything that Trump did today, man.
Yeah. No, that's a lot of what it was. God, we're gonna get back to that, but I guess at the end of the day, no matter what my opinions are towards Jay Leno, the man, I hope he recovers and has a good Thanksgiving.
I hope he's all right, and I hope he beats the shit out of that car and replaces it with a brand new one or something. I don't know.
I'm sure he will. I'm sure.
Whatever he does, I hope he doesn't decide to climb in a wrestling ring again.
Did he do that? Is that a thing he did?
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
I did not know that.
Him and him and his band leader, Kevin Eubanks.
Okay, I was about to say, was it Eubanks then?
No, WCW. They got into a feud.
Of course, it would be WCW.
And it's Hulk Hogan. Of course. It's him and Eric Bischoff. It was one of the pay-per-views. If you have Peacock, you could find it.
That's crazy. I might have to look that up. That sounds funny.
Yeah.
Oh, the Dennis Rodman and Karl Malone one, like the year before, or later, a few months before. That one is just.
I just imagine like Jay Leno, like when his band, like, was it a tag team or something?
Oh yeah, they came out on bikes.
Yeah, I just imagine like Hulk Hogan had his back turned to Jay Leno and said, "Hey Hulk," turns around, "You hear about this?" and just slaps the fuck out of him.
Jay doesn't spend much time in the ring. He plays it smart.
I see.
He lets DDP take all the bumps.
Yeah, probably the smart thing to do if you're a pudgy late night TV show guy.
Yeah. There was an interview with Jay Leno's doctor, and the doctor said what Jay Leno needs to do right now is spend some time for Jay right now. And when he said that, all I could think of, I don't think that's going to be a problem.
No, right, yeah. I mean, like he's got a lot on his plate.
Yeah, I think that's his whole life.
Yeah, I think
probably
that's
now
it.
just I got to go wax the East Garage.
Yeah,
the East Garage needs some loving today.
Yeah, by East I mean the east side of town. Like
yeah,
the one that he has than the east.
The
side
town he has.
Yeah, well,
he sleeps on the East Garage in his house. That's where one of his bedrooms are. So
it's like a little game room. It's like era 1970s, you know.
Yeah,
like
he's got the pong table. Yeah.
An arcade game. He's got Asteroid in there.
That is a rich man's hobby, dude. Just collecting a bunch of just weird fucking cars, bro. Like, that sounds fun and all, but like,
it'd be cool.
It would be cool, undoubtedly.
It would be cool, but goddamn.
I live that way in GTA, but I live that way in GTA, but I mean, you know.
Yeah, I know, and I know this really bad thing happened to him, but like all that put together, it just makes him so much more likable, in my opinion.
Yeah.
All right. So that now we're out of the news. Pop counterculture. I guess Ed, tell us about your YouTube channel.
Yeah, so I have a channel called Pop Counterculture. Right now, it's mainly a place where, kind of like Bob, I watch a lot of right-wing grifter content that's made kind of disguises itself as media criticism. I do 2 to 3 streams a week. Usually last around 2.5 hours. They're pretty fun. It's a pretty cool place for the chat and all that. Chat's a pretty cool spot. So that's that's the main thing that I'm doing right now, but I got some like other stuff working in the background. I got some video essays in the making, and so just really quick to run through them. The first one that I'm putting out is about this thing called the Revival Tour. It was this weird phenomenon from like 2008 to 2014 where a bunch of punk rockers started putting out like side projects, country music, folk music, alt country, and stuff like this.
Yeah,
and they were no slouch. They were very critically acclaimed. A lot of people really loved that shit. And there was this thing called the Revival Tour, which was this very intimate, very different, small club, small venue thing, where instead of having like opening act, second act, and then the major act, like it was just a 3-hour thing where they would rotate in and out, like a few songs by one artist and the next one and the next one. They'll play on each other's songs sometimes. It was this whole like kickback, intimate thing.
Yeah.
So the whole video is going to be just sort of a retrospective on those tours and all those albums, and also trying to figure out what the fuck happened to it, because it was a big deal amongst me and my friends, and then one year they just kind of stopped. And the other video essay I'm working on is about the guy who made Donnie Darko. His second movie, Southland Tales, was this absolute flop of a movie. Super to this day, I mean, I watched it. I've already seen it once at least. I'm gonna watch it a few times for the essay, but I didn't like it much. But it came with a bunch of comic books. It was a screenplay. There was a screenplay that's in the movie that you can download online. It's this whole thing. But I'm immersing myself into the world of Southland Tales and seeing if I can get what he was trying to go for.
All right, so I am back. I believe so. Like, if you heard any audio issue earlier in the podcast, it's because my computer speakers are playing, and the only way to turn them off was to actually reboot the computer, because actually muting the speakers did not work. Actually, something weird was going on for sure.
Oh, we're all online now.
Yes, we are good to go. Yes, you told us about your channel. Well, so like, what's so like? Obviously you love movies. Like, what are some of your favorite movies?
My favorite movies: Barry Lyndon by Stanley Kubrick, Jurassic Park, the first one, obviously. There's this indie movie that like the whole world forgot about that came out in 2013 called Beasts of the Southern Wild. That's definitely up there. And Network, Sidney Lumet's Network. That's definitely my top 4 according to my
Nice.
at least I'm looking at my fucking what's it called, Letterboxd right now.
Yeah.
So.
I have only seen one of those. You could probably guess which one too.
One? Oh, yeah,
Well,
Jurassic
yeah,
Park.
yeah. I think everybody's seen that one. Network's been on my to-watch list forever.
Yeah. Same with me about Network. That one has always been on my watch list.
Dude, Network is the kind of movie that like it's just always going to be eternal because like it just called out so much things about society that was relevant in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s, and even now, dude. That's it's trippy to watch, especially nowadays.
Okay.
Nice.
But
Yeah,
I've
no.
seen 2 that were on that list though.
Which one?
Barry Lyndon and Jurassic Park.
Yeah, the thing is, like Barry Lyndon.
I'm a Kubrick. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Kubrick's my guy, dude. I want to get a Kubrick tattoo, bro. Like that's how serious I am about like the guy.
Kubrick's
like, even amongst, but like even amongst the Kubrick fans, like Barry Lyndon just doesn't have the best reputation. That's why I like.
Doesn't. But
Everybody calls it the slow one, but I'm like,
I kind of feel like it's completely different in the subject matter.
Yeah.
Well, the subject matter of what he's doing.
Yeah.
Or
No, I
trying
love
to
what
do,
he's
I guess.
doing
He's trying to tell a story within that time period, so there wouldn't be a lot of the same elements that he had used in previous films that that people had like really come to love him for, but they are there.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to look for him, like his color scheme, his use of color in that.
Yeah.
My God, it may be plain, but it's there.
Oh, it's an amazing look. That's like the only like Blu-ray that I'll be okay if it never comes out on 4K because it's just an amazing looking movie. Period.
Yeah. And like I mean those locations were just gorgeous.
Oh yeah, man. Kubrick knows how to pick them.
Yeah, him and Coppola, like they're both a good eye for location.
Visuals in general, yeah, especially.
Yeah, visuals too. I was gonna say I don't have access to it here, but I have a little bus of the monolith on the moon.
Oh, that's sick.
Nice.
Like I just found it at like I was like, oh, yep, add to cart.
Fuck yeah.
So, what was your inspiration for your YouTube channel?
Well, I used to have a YouTube channel when I was younger, back when I was making short films a lot more regularly. But I forgot the password to that because I used to party a lot and I just forgot a lot of things that I used to remember. But yeah, 2020, the pandemic came and I wanted to give it another shot, give the YouTube thing another shot, and try to do some more video essays and stuff like that. But I think I was just, I just don't think I was in the right place in my time to be consistent, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And my video essays, I put a ton of work into them. They didn't do all that well. It was kind of discouraging and shit, you know, but fortunately things are looking up now and I feel more motivated to do things with it. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know you've talked about a lot, but do you want to talk about the research subject that you've done the most look into, that you have the most to say
the
about?
Research so the most research, okay, so when it comes to just doing the most amount of research, especially ever since I started covering these toxic right-wing grifters, that's definitely been, you know, I've just been finding myself doing some stuff that I never thought I would do in order to be more educated on that. Like I reached out to someone who knows one of the people that I cover, like in their, well, I don't want to get too much into the details, but they know them. And so that's been pretty interesting. Just kind of immersing myself into that and getting to know these people a little better. Outside of what they grift as. But on top of that, second place is very easily this revival tour video essay that I'm working on. Like, it's again, the weirdest thing for me when it comes to this video is that it was such a, like, it went on for 6 years. Everybody knew about it. Everybody who was a punk at least knew about it. It was something everybody talked about, but then like when it disappeared, it just kind of sort of vanished from the earth. And I kind of see this video as like an opportunity to sort of like not just revisit it, but also like celebrate it and like remind people of this really unique and special thing that just doesn't exist anymore. And in doing that, I'm trying to find every interview that I can, like text or video or anything like that, any podcast interviews. So I've accumulated a good amount of just material to go through, and it's been pretty fun to kind of look at it and piece the overall story together. It's cool.
Okay, yeah. You've got me interested. It's like tell me more about this, because this I know you gave like a
like what type of
introduction, but yeah.
Okay, so the main guy. The main guy who he kind of was like the dude who came up with the idea and put everything together was Chuck Reagan, who used to play in Hot Water Music. I don't know if you guys knew about them. Hot Water Music. Yeah. So, which is weird because if you listen to Hot Water Music, the idea that guy went on to become a semi-successful indie country artist is kind of crazy. But Tim Berry.
There are two artists I know who have crossed over to both genres. Well, like more heavy metal, and like Hank 3, of course.
Yeah.
But I mean, that is very unusual. I will, definitely give you that. From punk to country, that.
Yeah, and then especially like when with Nick 13 of Tiger Army, like he actually signed on to a independent country music label and put out an all-out country album. And to be honest, like I don't think it was different enough from his Tiger Army stuff to really stand on its own. That's why I don't think it did all that well. But he did that, and the other big name in it was Tim Berry from Avail, the hardcore band from Richmond, Virginia. I mean, this is like some real punk shit, guys. So he was another one. Ben Nichols from Lucero. Lucero was always kind of like country mixed with punk, so it was kind of in his wheelhouse to begin with. So he mainly just did like solo versions of a lot of his Lucero songs. But the big part was all three members of Alkaline Trio. One of them put out a country folk thing, but they all put out their own solo stuff in that same time. Because even if they didn't do the solo country thing with Chuck Reagan, that whole chapter just inspired almost every punk artist to put out some sort of solo release or another. And a lot of the times it was an opportunity for them as artists to explore different sounds and different genres. So you had like Matt Skiba of Alkaline Trio doing like dark electro stuff. You had Nick 13 put out the country stuff. It was just a very interesting time. Another kind of like big aspect of it too is that like I really feel like it died before Trump, right? Like it died before Trump was president. And there's just something uniquely the Obama era was such an optimistic time for like everybody. And punk rock before that. Yeah, and punk rock before that was so like anti-Bush and like angry and all that. Yeah, so one of the things that I'm really kind of exploring is like what happens to punk rockers after they don't have to have anything to be angry about. And I think it's interesting that a lot of them kind of answered it with this sort of introspective country folk stuff. So that's it's in a collection of things. Like I really want to give a full picture. Because, like I said, man, it just bums me out that it just died. Like it just died and disappeared. It feels like it's like this ghost of a memory that me and my friends kind of bring up every now and then.
Yeah.
A big part of the end is like trying to put on my business owner brain or something, my entrepreneur brain, and try to get that. Because my suspicion is these shows were kind of chaotic because like out of nowhere, like, you know, fucking Mike Vanek from Valicia is in town. He wants to do like a couple of songs. All right, cool, let him through. But how much is he gonna get paid? Is he gonna get paid? You know? So I feel I have suspicions that because these concerts were almost all at super intimate, super tiny venues, it was hard to turn a profit. That's my biggest guess. But I've been trying to find someone involved with it to talk to get a more concrete answer because I wanted to have a more concrete ending. You know?
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I had no idea about this. So,
yeah, well, it should
it
be
sounds
cool.
Done.
Yeah. I'm the script is just about done, so I just have to start putting together the actual video.
Mm-hmm. That sounds awesome, man. That'll be a cool thing to check out.
Yeah. I'll make a big deal about it when it's out for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, yeah, I wasn't not expecting that, but yeah, no, that's cool. Yeah. Let's see. Well, I guess, is there anything else you want to talk about, or shall we go into weird?
No, I'm ready to go into weird if you are.
Okay, so weird.
Yeah.
So weird is the most touching and poignant biopic I've ever seen in my life, and I'm not even overselling it. This is
no, I you know, a lot of people because of Al Yankovic's music, you know, they tend to forget that he came from a place of suffering.
Yes.
You know, his parents were famously very unsupportive of everything he did.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's you know, it's hard to portray that stuff honestly, but this was a very honest portrayal of that for sure.
Oh God. It was so touching. Like how he fought for, like, how he recorded My Bologna in a bus station bathroom. It was just
yeah.
So much truth in that.
Yeah, I know, and it's one of those things that sounds really funny to watch, but when you see, you know, at least the performance of Daniel Radcliffe's performance here of Weird Al, you know, you could really see the pain in his eyes when he thinks about that Bologna.
Yeah.
Yes.
You truly see the man's worth.
I know, and like
his suffering, like
on the spot, being challenged by John Deacon to do a Queen cover. Oh, the pain.
Of all people, can you believe that? Can you imagine if John Deacon came up to you and challenged you to play music? That would scare the shit out of me, man. I might shit myself.
I would more feel bad that nobody knew who John Deacon was at that party.
Well, yeah, because everybody at that party was a lame ass and not at all relevant. They didn't know what was up in the 80s, bro.
I mean, even Frank Zappa didn't know that was John Deacon.
Frank Zappa, more like Frank Wacka.
Yeah, for sure. I think the most painful experience he had to go through was having to deal with Michael Jackson just parodying his original work. It was
classic
it had to be
David
painful.
and Goliath story. Yeah, classic David and Goliath story.
Oh,
biggest
poor
lie
guy
ever told to music fans.
It's like he finally comes out for original song, and Michael Jackson just does a parody of it. Just fuck.
I know. I can't imagine having to go through something like that. And, you know, as a Mexican, I got to say, it's about time we saw an honest portrayal of the damage that Madonna has done to my people.
Oh, yes. Jesus.
That's what I really appreciate. It's been pussyfooted around. Everybody knows the rumors. No, this movie said, fuck that.
Yeah.
We're tackling this shit head on.
Yes.
I am also pleased that they called her out for the monster that she is.
Yes. The way she runs that drug cartel is just brutal.
You shouldn't be that good at running a drug cartel. No one should.
No one should.
This movie tells the tragic story of all of the trials and tribulations of Weird Al Yankovic and his short life.
It really makes him. It really shows him out. Like, you forget because he's a funny guy that he's a human being, you know.
Yes,
but he came from a place of suffering, and the woman he loved tried to destroy him, and that's, you know, that needs to be talked about.
Yes, it does. It needs to be talked about more.
It does.
How much longer can we keep this up? That's
no, man.
Man, we were like summarizing to begin right there.
Just getting more and more ridiculous plot points and be like, oh, it's fine. Somebody said it. Fine.
No, but honestly though, like one of the things that makes this like movie work really well, like, in all seriousness, is just like the fact that everybody's playing it straight, dude. Everybody's
it's like very straight. It's one of the glorious things in this movie.
completely. Yeah, just.
Well, I mean, there's always been the story about like biopics get made now. Like Bohemian Rhapsody is the most egregious example, but biopics get made now, and you have band members involved, so everything's sugar coated. And of course, Al Yankovic was involved with this. He said, "Fuck it, we're telling this story."
Let's just go with every single, stereotype or cliche thing in this genre, and we're gonna run with it.
Yeah,
there's an elephant. There's definitely an elephant in the room when it comes to this movie called Walk Hard. And I love Walk Hard and all that, but like, I don't know, man. Like, I mean, I think we all go through our Weird Al phase when we're younger and stuff like that. Before
I still haven't grown mine. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I haven't either.
You guys are way cooler than I am. No, but like, even after I kind of like stopped listening to Weird Al when I was a kid, like whenever he was on TV, I would get stoked. Like whenever he took over MTV or VH1, that shit still holds up.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's still great.
Yeah.
It's like, hi, I'm Weird Al and I'm taking over. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, man.
Awesome.
One thing
I read. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that was required that Daniel Radcliffe stay in shape for this movie.
Well, yeah, he has to portray what he actually looks like.
Sure. Yeah, he looked like that. He was ripped like that, for sure.
Did you see UHF, man?
Yeah, he was
actually,
ripped,
yeah. And I also saw them pay reference to that movie, when he was in the jungle, because I'm sitting there watching it, and he's like going through the jungle. And go, wait a minute, this is UHF,
right?
This is UHF. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah, dude.
Doing that right now.
Yeah, dude. I don't know. Like, like something that I said, like in my little review that I did on my channel of this movie, is that like I really love I love a lot of Judd Apatow movies. Like I'm a big fan of like the 40-Year-Old Virgin and Superbad and all that. But like I low key feel like he destroyed cinematic comedy in a lot of ways.
Because weird,
yeah, because like
yes.
before you watch Judd Apatow, like say you take a movie like Dumb and Dumber, right?
Okay.
The script is funny. The dialogue is funny. They got funny actors to say those lines and to create these characters that were funny. The direction was funny. The editing was funny. The production design was funny. The music was funny. Everything was funny, right? But with Judd Apatow movies, it's just like Seth Rogen kind of playing Seth Rogen and just kind of like ad-libbing, and then the editor kind of cuts it all together to make it make sense. And like it's funny. It's not cinema to me, It's literally guys in a room cracking jokes. And
it's its own style. And I want to stress, like, I like stuff like Knocked Up and 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like that became the dominant comedy form in movies. And it's like, I guess we still have the goofy comedy movies still, but like, they've become really bad, unfortunately.
They have. I mean, I kind of feel like the world of cinematic comedy, they don't need like a new version or anything, but they do need something like those powerhouses that had shooken up, how those types of movies were made.
The Zucker brothers and
I was just gonna say first the early Lampoon movies, like and then Airplane, of course, and the Naked Gun movies.
Well, we can't go into stuff like this and not drop Mel Brooks.
Oh yeah, he's probably the originator of all this type of comedy,
Yeah. But I really feel like a movie like Airplane, if it were to come out today, I mean, a lot of it really wouldn't be popular.
Probably not, no.
But I mean, I don't think a comedy like that would really work as well as it did when it was released. But they do there needs to be a comedy like that.
Yeah.
Like one that's controversial but funny and not like spiteful controversial.
See, we're coming at it from two different angles because that we definitely could use comedy could be a little meaner. It could stand to be a little meaner.
Can be.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
but also not mean spirited.
Yeah, but also what I love about the Zucker movies is that they're so fucking funny that you have to watch them multiple times to get everything that's going on because there's jokes in the foreground, there's jokes in the background, there's conceptual jokes that are funny in your brain. There's funny dialogue. There's funny visual. Everything about it is funny.
Like,
whereas if you look at something like Knocked Up, like it's just people being funny.
It's entertaining. It's a nice movie, but it's not.
And it's a good movie.
Like,
I will admit that it probably took me about 4 viewings of Airplane to realize that the two voices in the beginning are having an argument.
yeah, little shit like that.
Yeah,
like little shit like that. Like, don't start with your white zone shit, Karen.
Well, I think like when you look at stuff by Judd Apatow, which I want to stress, I do like Judd Apatow. What you're dealing with is people like largely it's a storyline treated fairly like seriously, you know, not really humorous, but you know, you just, you know, what you do is you get Seth Rogen and he ad libs and he has fun, and you know that there's comedy in that for sure.
He's a funny guy. Yeah.
But you like when you look at Airplane, when you look at Weird, it's just the whole thing is ridiculous from start to finish, and it's treated seriously, which is what makes it great.
It puts you in the right vibe for this type of comedy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And the best thing about someone like Weird Al Yankovic, who has professionally had to be funny his entire career, is that like he just gets it. Like he knows funny. He knows how to put together a funny scene. He knows like, it's if there is anything here that speaks towards like Weird, like literally like no kidding around. If there's anything about the movie that kind of actually speaks to Weird Al's like legacy in terms of being like a comedy guy, it's like this is a testament of like all his, because he did write the script, right? Like as far as like writing it, he acted in it. It was funny acting in it. He did that voiceover, you know, like he had his thumbs in it, but it was everything that he's good at in terms of being a comedy guy put into the movie.
And it was kind of amazing. He did it after being assassinated in 1985. So like, really,
you can't keep a funny man down, dude.
Nope. The comedy will live on.
No,
comedy lives.
No, in some ways I feel like this is almost kind of like a redemption, although it took him a long time, from UHF, because UHF was a movie that it had like funny moments. I love the bits in UHF, but the movie on itself never really stood up to me. And I feel like this is Weird Al being like, no, I'm going to take a second shot at one of these movies and fucking knocks it out of the park this time.
But it's the same kind of basic idea, right? Like he is bringing his style to the cinematic form and stuff. It's just that, you know, he did it with skits on UHF, and it is a kind of uneven movie. Not all of it holds up, but like a lot of it does. A lot of it is still pretty funny.
Like those skits, like in a vacuum, were great.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and with Weird, it just kind of feels like, okay, I've done the skit thing. Let me show that I can hold this thing out for an entire runtime. You know?
Yeah, and it works. It's like if you haven't gotten around to watching Weird, it's on the Roku channel. If you have a Roku, it's free. Just check it out.
Weird Al gave you permission. Yeah, and if you don't, Weird Al said on his Twitter you should download it. Just pirate the motherfucker.
I didn't know he said that is cool.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
He also shared a picture of the headstone that's shown at the last shot of the movie, and he was like, "This is the only prop I took from the shoot." It's like it was in my backyard for 2 weeks before my wife noticed.
Now,
that's fucking funny.
Be clear to say she's not a fan of it.
No,
right.
I think it's fair to say this is like my only real complaint about this movie is like being on Roku is a weird thing. Like I kind of wish this was a theatrical release or at least a Netflix movie or something.
It kind of seems to be the trend now that some movies are only being released exclusively to X streaming service or
Yeah, but usually you have the option to not watch it with ads, whereas with Roku, as far as I know, there is no ad-free version of it. So, and the thing is that like Roku isn't going to put the money into like putting the commercial breaks in the right spots. There were a couple of times where it was kind of jarring watching it.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's kind of weird because it's like I guess they're just trying to get people to like get the Roku channel, because I have a Roku. I don't have the Roku channel.
I kept it on there because I'm a big fan of Kenny versus Spenny, and those have like the best quality uploads of it. But yeah, otherwise I wouldn't have it myself.
Yeah. It's. I guess they're just trying to draw eyes to it, but you know, it was a good movie.
It was
best biopic of the year.
Yeah, unironically, yes.
Yeah.
I did see an interview with Al where he was talking about. I think he was promoting this movie, and he had talked like actually what's funny is in the 80s, like, you know, when I before I had met my wife, and I would go on a date with a girl, we would go to the movies, and if the Naked Gun was in, I would take girls out to the theater and we would go there, and I would wear the same shirt I was wearing in the movie, but also play it off like I had no idea.
Yeah.
He said he used to do that as a power move, and it's like that's fucking hilarious.
And a Weird Al used to do cameo. I forgot there was this one movie. It was a movie that used to play on Disney Channel like a lot, like at late night. And like the entire third act took place at a Weird Al Yankovic concert, and he was a part of the. Oh, we got to get to the spot. I'll take you, shit like that. You know, it was pretty
Just
cool.
for no reason at all, a Weird Al Yankovic concert.
Oh no, it was teased. It was teased. It was teased in Act 1 and shit. But like, it was just weird. Like I just remember I don't remember anything about that movie, except that the entire third act takes place at a Weird Al concert. And it made it go into a Weird Al concert, which I'm sure was the purpose. So like the funnest fucking thing on the planet, which I haven't done, by the way. I feel like I should before it gets too late.
What, a Weird Al concert?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'm at too. It's like I should probably go to one of those.
Yeah. I know that he has a lot of costume changes.
Yeah, no, it's a whole performance, man. It's a whole performance.
Yeah.
Like Al Yankovic's done a really good job of making a brand for himself. In a way that doesn't feel cynical or greedy or anything like that. Like he's Weird Al. That's what he does. He gets it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome movie.
I kind of respect the fact that he's never really taken himself too seriously.
No, I don't. Yeah, that he never has ever. Well, I guess in this series, this movie gets kind of serious. So.
I think the most serious he was playing that executive.
Yeah, it's very poignant. I mean, the way his father beat up that guy trying to sell him the accordion, it was brutal. You could feel every punch.
That's what I knew this movie was gonna be. I was kind of 50-50 on it, but what's like that scene with the accordion sales guy, and he just walks in like Mary Poppins. I was like, oh, this is great.
No, he just beats the ever loving shit out of him. It's like, oh my god.
I know what this is.
The dad just beats the fuck out of him while he's having a heartwarming conversation.
Yeah. Like, oh, okay, I see. I know what movie this is. I know.
Yeah, dude.
Gotcha. I'm here for it.
There's a lot of great stuff with the band too, especially like early on and shit, where he gets excited that he's getting all the success, and they just start thrashing the fucking apartment. I was like, this is awesome, man.
All right.
I never knew you guys play. It only seemed convenient until now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it just comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, the entire pool party scene, in my opinion, was a fucking highlight. That was probably
the pool party. Yeah. I had more fun going through like, okay, who's that supposed to be?
Conan O'Brien.
Oh yeah. It was just like, okay, there's Divine, there's Gallagher.
Frank Zappa.
Frank Zappa.
It was, you know.
Conan O'Brien and Andy Warhol.
That's right, Andy Warhol.
Man. That was too much.
I do have to say Alice Cooper was a little lazy.
Yeah, I think that was one of the Lonely Island guys. Two of them are in this.
Oh, was it one of the Lonely Island? Okay, then I can forgive it. Then I can. That's pretty funny. Then.
I mean, Alice is alive, and I think it would have been funnier if Alice was just playing himself.
That kind of
the majority of the. Yeah, it's actually a $200 million movie. It's just a lot of that budget went to de-aging Alice Cooper.
Making him look different for some reason. They could have really just gone somebody else, but they decided to de-age him and morph his face.
No, Alice Cooper
he just kind of showed up. He was there.
Yeah.
Just hanging out.
We need to shoot now while he's in the background.
Really? He's fucking. You can hear his fucking bones creaking in the original audio.
We had to ADR that whole scene.
A lot of Foley artists.
Yeah. Okay. Are we ready for Ice Harvest?
Yeah, let's talk about Ice Harvest.
Yeah.
Ice Harvest. Yeah. So, I haven't seen this since it came out, so it's a good suggestion, Bobby.
All right.
Yeah, the Harold Ramis heist movie.
Christmas movie.
Yeah, total Christmas movie. Well, what's interesting is that the heist itself doesn't really mean anything in this movie. It's all like getting away with it at that point. And
it's very Tarantino-esque in the sense that like the heist is nothing. It's all about the fallout, you know?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
They have one job.
One of the aspects about the story. that I love the most about it. Like it is just like you said, the fallout, know, the aftermath.
Yeah, they have
like
one job to act normal for a couple hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's honestly like the kind of concept that only like an '80s guy could pull off, in my opinion.
Yeah,
you know, it's such a like just real basic, just an idea, and the story forms around it, and it does a damn good job.
Yeah, like I said, I hadn't seen this since it came out. I think I got on DVD, and I'll admit when I first watched it years ago, it didn't really stick with me. But like rewatching it again, I was like, oh. I don't know why I wasn't thrilled with this. This is good. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's easier if it's easier to appreciate now. I think it's just because like it's so rare. We just see a simple movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a movie that isn't trying to give you a bunch of spectacle. It has unlikable protagonists, for fuck's sakes. You know, they're all people.
I wanted to bring that up because John Cusack is like a linchpin here, because John Cusack just naturally plays a likable character, which you need because his character is not particularly likable.
Yeah, he's kind of a piece of shit.
Yeah.
He's a wimpy piece of shit in comparison to Billy Bob Thornton, who's just proudly a piece of shit, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
An unapologetic dick.
Yeah. I love that scene where like they find the wife dead. He's like, yeah, no, she really overestimated. Did he really think that I loved my wife that much or something like that?
Yeah, I know that line was wild. It's like he grossly overestimated how much I cared or something like that.
That's it. Yeah, grossly overestimated how much I love to care for this woman.
Yeah,
like watching that going like, that's your red flag, John.
That's a huge. Well, I mean, Billy Bob Thornton's been getting off red flags pretty much the whole fucking movie, but yeah,
he gave it off like, oh, you want to hold on to it?
Yeah.
Dude, that whole scene with the gun was driving me crazy, dude.
Oh god,
I was like, I keep seeing like, dude, just kill him before he kills you. What are you doing?
Yeah, no, they're taking that thing down there, and he pulls out the gun and puts it in his hand while he's carrying the chest. Like, the fuck? No.
Yeah, man. No, and honestly, this had what every Christmas movie really needs to sort of really represent what the holiday is all about, which is a significant amount of scenes taking place at a strip club, you know?
For sure. Yes. It's very important. Yes. I mean, without those strip club scenes, it all falls apart, so.
Despair.
Yeah.
It's fitting within the holiday season.
No, in my family, Christmas and Christmas and strip clubs go together like Thanksgiving and turkey, dude.
Okay.
As we're done opening the gifts, going straight to the strip club.
The kids love it.
Love it. So educational.
It's informative.
It'll definitely open up some eyes, no doubt.
Oh no. But yeah, basic synopsis. Yeah, like I want to say it's the first scene of the movie. You just see John Cusack coming out to a car with Billy Bob Thornton with a bag of money and saying it worked.
Yeah.
And now we just gotta be normal for a couple hours and then we're scot-free. Yeah, and so John Cusack kind of spends his time like kind of being nice to people. I don't know. He's kind of trying to play it cool, but he's also nervous. Mike Starr, I can't remember the name of the character, but the actor Mike Starr starts asking around for him. Makes him nervous for obvious reasons.
He's a mafia lawyer, right?
Yeah, he is a mob attorney.
Mm-hmm. Mob attorney, that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It hit a little close to home when his wife left him for a guy who got her a Mercedes. Maybe I shouldn't get too deep into that, but it's like, man, really getting close to home, guys. What are you doing?
Oh, unbeknownst to me. My apologies, Bob.
Okay, so help me out here, because the one thing that kind of confused me is like that Oliver Platt guy is his friend, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what was the connection to the ex-wife again? I was confused by that.
That's the new guy.
Yeah, he's the new husband.
Okay, so I wasn't confused. That was just what it was. And...
Nope. Yeah.
Yes. That dinner was just as awkward as it was shown.
Oh my god!
Oh, and he was belligerently drunk.
No,
it was funny because like when I was watching that scene, I was like, "Wait!" I was in my head. There's no way that's like. But now that that's happening, that's so much like darker.
No, it's like Oliver Platt's with his wife, and leading up to that scene, there's this great line where Oliver Platt's telling him, "Man, that last year you guys were together, we fucked so many times. And I just love John Cusack's response. It just kind of makes me wonder who she's fucking now. Just
no,
calm
honestly,
and cool.
it's weird because like now that that's been like clarified to me so much, like all I could think is like, what's gonna happen to Oliver Platt when the credits roll?
Yeah.
Right? Because
Nothing. He and Charlie both they left.
they left to go be buds. They got an apartment in Florida.
Yeah, they're gonna just hang out. Probably drink a lot.
Well, yeah. The dinner party thing was crazy.
Start up an airboat tour in the Glades.
There you go. Going to Disneyland?
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, they could just do the airboat tours for tourists.
Yeah.
There you go.
Drink all the light beer they want all day.
But yeah, that dinner scene, at first it confused me because I was like, why is John Cusack walking in there? That's going to be like his
Super
ex
awkward.
and her parents and her new husband. Why are you going in there? And then when I saw the kids, I went, oh, fuck. Of course, he's going to say hi to the kids on
it
Christmas.
just got more
He can't-
complicated.
Yeah, of course yeah, duh. Try to play it cool,
I had
but yeah, you're
forgotten
gonna
about
say
the
you're gonna
kids,
say
yeah.
hi to the kids. You're gonna,
At the very least, right?
I mean, even though the son hates him, still you say hi.
That boy hated him something fierce.
Well, it really seems like
man, he's at that age.
he is kind of a shithead because he's talked about later how like it's best for the kids to do a clean break, and it's like those are your kids, man. You don't do a clean break with your kids. I'm sorry, you have to be there for them. Period.
That's monstrous shit.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, that's the thing. That's the thing about a movie made by like an '80s comedy guy. Like the main characters really are just unapologetically despicable human beings. You know?
Yeah.
Well,
Like
yeah.
like John Cusack. Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say part of what makes it work is number one, it's John Cusack, and it's tough for him to play unlikable, but also all the people he's going up against for the most part are just so much worse. Just God, oh my.
That's kind of the
ex-wife
secret.
is kind of terrible.
Yeah, no.
Oh, definitely. But the thing is, I think that's kind of like the secret little magic trick this movie pulls is that like he's unlikable, but everybody else around him is so much worse that like you have no choice but to root for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like, we're
absolutely.
gonna root for Billy Bob Thornton.
Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton's just a fucking psycho.
I found this outtake of this when I tried to find some like interviews of the cast talking about it, and mostly just get nostalgic just listening to Harold Ramis talk.
Yeah.
But I found this one where it was the scene where John confronted him at the restaurant, where Billy Bob did the whole scene, but as Sling Blade as his character.
Oh God,
that sounds like it'd be funny.
Yeah,
he first said the first line, John cracked. He just started laughing, just looking at him and trying to keep a straight face the whole time. And he's doing the lines, just not looking at him, like kind of looking down and saying the line. And
Got that got that look on his face like he did in Sling Blade and shit.
Oh man,
that's sick, man. You know, it's funny. He actually stopped by.
I'll put it up in the chat if I can find it.
Yeah, like a year ago, Billy Bob Thornton decided to stop by one of the restaurants here in town, and like the entire my entire little town got excited. A bunch of people rushed there to take pictures and shit. Dude, it was the whole thing.
Oh wow. Okay. So where like you had me confused, but yes, yeah. So like I'm trying to think who's the good guy in this movie. It would have to be John Cusack,
Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid,
pre-insanity Randy Quaid. I just want to
specify.
Yeah,
actually, yeah, that's very. We have to make that clear.
He was scary for sure.
No, he was scary.
Yeah, he went way off the deep end, though. But I mean, this is before that, yeah, and he was intimidating as a mob boss. Like, my God, that was.
He's
like
way more intimidating as a fat guy, in my opinion, or overweight guy.
Yeah. His YouTube channel isn't really intimidating, but it's definitely concerning.
It's interesting,
and it's not busy being kind of hilarious, to be honest. Though.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I mean it's hilariously a shit show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like we all can't forget the gem of the time he had his wife wear the Bernie Madoff mask, and
oh God, I forgot about that. Oh my God.
One of the greatest moments in internet history, bro.
True. True.
I remember watching it going, what the fuck has happened to him? Wait, what? Oh.
Yeah.
Is this allowed on YouTube?
I guess.
I mean, that was like a long time ago.
Yeah. Feels like, bro, time is all weird these days.
Yeah, that 2020 kind of messed with a lot of equilibriums, and
For real, dude.
So we have Billy Bob Thornton and Randy Quaid, but I guess we really haven't talked about the main villain here, which is definitely Connie Nielsen.
Yeah,
she's
kind of dastardly.
She's super evil. She. I guess spoilers if you haven't seen this, but yeah.
No, I thought she was. I thought she was great, and I thought I don't know, like I guess I should have known better, right? Because like it's like such an obvious like film noir setup, you know?
Yeah.
That the smoky hot temptress like talks to the protagonist, turns out to be the one behind everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like that. Like the beautiful dame comes into his office and gives him a great offer. Yeah,
exactly.
It's no good.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny that this was on the watch week this week because for some reason I had the strangest itch to start playing LA Noire again.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been diving into that, like finding every extra thing.
And that's yeah, no, I could see that because like she is such a like she's instantly like a dark like figure in the life of John Cusack's character, you know, just like right off the bat, like she was definitely kind of carrying that sense of danger about her.
Yeah, no, I mean,
in the first
obviously
shot of her, if you notice how like the bar is like, you know, kind of dim like a bar, but she's got a lot of light on her, and it's like, yeah, there's a lot of noir like trends that they did in this, I noticed, but still shot in the backdrop of like a snowy Kansas City.
Oh yeah, no, they had the eye light almost fixated on her, so like her eyes especially popped out throughout the entire movie.
Yeah, I noticed that the most while watching this, as opposed to just watching it. But now when I look for stuff like that,
it definitely feels like a setup when you're watching it because like she's obviously super beautiful because it's Connie Nielsen. It's Wonder Woman's mom. But just like it's obvious John Cusack is just all about her, and it's like. This is not going to go well, is it?
Yeah. Hey, some of the funniest chicks were just nothing but trouble, though. Straight up, though.
Yeah. But yeah, if you're a Harold Ramis fan at all and you've not seen The Ice Harvest, just check it out. It's definitely a forgotten about.
It definitely is one of his underappreciated films. Absolutely.
I feel like there's just a lot of movies, especially from this time. That are especially because like it's like a focus features movie, so they never had all that much money behind it to begin with. I just kind of feel like they're lost to time a little bit, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I like a lot of focus feature movies. There are some great ones that are focus features, like The Big Lebowski, for example. Election is another one. Ice Harvest. Yeah, there's like they definitely a studio how their stuff I feel did go a little under the radar because, like you said, they weren't a bigger one. I think what was one of the biggest?
Is that the Reese Witherspoon one?
Yeah, Reese Witherspoon.
Okay.
Yeah. And like I think Lost in Translation was probably the studio's biggest hit.
Yeah, I thought it was Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
It could be that too.
That
is also a focus feature. Yeah, I remember that. It's one
That's
of
like the only movie. That is a movie that I am legitimately afraid to watch again.
Really?
I am legit. Yeah.
Oh,
I love that movie.
I know that.
It's probably that's the thing. Like, it's one of the most powerful movies I ever have. To the point that, like, I feel like if I watch it again, it's just gonna, I guess, just bring up a lot of rough shit. You know?
No,
I don't think I've rewatched that in a long time.
I haven't rewatched it in a while too. It's probably been 5 years at least for me. That is a damn good one. And
when I was a teenager, like I was very much aware of the fact that I was a teenager and everything I felt was like very immature and fleeting. So like watching it as a teenager, I was like, oh, this is what love is. This is what being a grown up and being in love is like. Then I became a grown up and I fell in love, and I'm like, oh, this is exactly what it's like. This is awful.
Yeah, no, it's the best and worst all at once. It's just fucked up.
Yeah, I don't want to. I don't know if I want to see a heartbreakingly like honest portrayal of this that is so like concise. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you guys ever heard of the movie called Boy A?
No,
I don't think so.
No? Okay, so Blockbuster, before it went out of business for good and all that, they tried to do exclusives like a video game company, right? So they would buy a bunch of indie and foreign movies at film festivals and only have them for sale or rent at their stores, right? And one of them was Andrew Garfield's breakout role. It was this movie called Boy A. And it's a movie where a kid helps another kid kill another kid, right? And it becomes this big famous court trial and all that shit. And he's famous because of, you know, he was a kid who killed another kid. But the movie's about once he's an adult, he's let out into the real world, but they gave him a different name and shit like that, try to hide his identity. And you know, he's out there trying to live a normal life and trying to like stay in the background. But one day as an adult, he saves a little child's life who's like about to die in a car accident, like gets him out of the car before another car hits it. And then he's thrust back into the spotlight while trying to live incognito. Yeah, it's a damn good movie, dude. But like literally, I don't even know where you can find that fucking movie anymore, and it's an incredible little movie.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. We have to track down Blockbuster because there's a lot of those.
Yeah,
and there was this other one too. I'll just mention this one really quick because I know you guys are going to talk about Christmas Story. Story, right? Is that what it's called?
Christmas Story.
Christmas Story.
Yeah.
Electric Boogaloo. Yes.
No, there was this other movie I saw. It was like a found footage movie about these parents who keep trying to capture these like innocent, fun-filled moments with their kids, but their kids are secretly evil, you know, and they're being influenced by this thing in the woods and shit that is like mysterious. And then in the third act, the kids take the camera and then offer their parents up in a ritualistic sacrifice. You know, it's impossible to find the movie, so I might as well tell you guys. Yeah. But yeah, it's called Home Movies, and it's another one of those movies that like I rented at like Blockbuster one night, and then I just never fucking heard of again. But yeah, that was like a thing back in the day, I guess.
Yeah, that is cool. Well, you are correct. We're about right heading to Christmas Story Christmas, and it's up to you. If you want to sit in, like we're going to spoil it. If you want to sit in and just ask questions, you're welcome to, or you can.
I gotta go get some stuff ready for work tomorrow.
I gotcha. I gotcha.
Yeah.
No, you have to say it's part of the podcast contract. No,
let us spoil this for you.
We are spoiling the shit out of this. God damn it.
Yeah, man. No, but honestly, man, it's been a lot of fun. I'll be happy to come back on whenever you like and all that.
All right, cool. Well, it sounds like you have some movie suggestions. So when there's an empty spot, yeah,
man.
Oh, for sure. Let me know, and I'll definitely suggest some stuff.
All right, cool. So have a good night, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, take it easy,
of course. You too. Take care.
Oh my god! Now I have to reset everything. This is madness.
You do?
It'll just take me a few minutes here.
All right.
Boom. That looks good. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Christmas Story Christmas. As already brought up, the third attempt at a sequel to Christmas Story. This one doesn't recognize any of the other attempts at a sequel and is the one to bring back the most original cast members.
Yeah,
I want to say there's like four.
Yeah, it's Vargas, Ralphie, obviously.
Yeah, obviously Ralphie,
and Fritz.
It was
and Schwartz.
Yeah, it was Flick, Schwartz, Ralphie, and Scott.
Scott Vargas.
Yeah.
That is him. That is him.
Yeah. Well, Melinda Dillon was actually asked if she wanted to reprise the role of the mother, but she's been retired for like 15 years and honestly didn't want to unretire for it. So Julie Haggerty took over the role.
She did a great job.
No, yeah, she was solid. This is
great.
This time will tell if this sticks around like the original movie, because I don't think it will. But like maybe this isn't bad though.
I don't think it will either.
Yeah, but this
isn't
solid.
bad. It's
yeah.
very faithful to the original.
Yes.
In the sense of spirit.
Yeah. It's lots of Ralphie, lots of Ralphie's fantasies, and with a different tone. Like obviously in the first one, he wants the Red Ryder BB gun, and here he's trying to just make up the perfect Christmas for his family. Yeah,
yeah, and he feels the pressure of it now because, well, we're gonna get into our spoilers now. The movie starts with the promise of the mom and dad coming out to see them.
Mm-hmm.
And he gets a call from his mom to find out that his dad had passed away.
Mm-hmm.
So we deal with the loss of the father figure in this, which I kind of figured.
Yeah. Well, Darren McGavin had passed a while ago, so.
And I know he had passed. He passed shortly after this was released, didn't he? Or it was like, no, it was some time after, wasn't it?
No, it was like 2005, I want to say.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't have my phone in front of me, so I'm not sure. I wonder if I left it in the other room. But yeah, it's been a little while. But yeah, I believe this movie is supposed to take place 33 years after the original.
1973.
Yeah, and it's been 39 years since the original, so it's a little off. But you know, I was thinking about that because it's like I feel like Ralphie's probably supposed to be about my age, and he's a bit older.
He is a bit older, yeah.
Yeah. But yes, this is kind of a charming, nice little movie. It does pay a lot of respect to Darren McGavin, which is nice. There's a lot of respect given to the father character.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, like you brought up, there's a lot to the spirit of the original that comes back here. Like we get the goofy fantasies about him being like a brilliant snowball fighter and stuff like that, just like you'd get in the original.
I just found out 2006.
2006
is when the original when Darren passed. Yeah.
Okay. And it's kind of interesting to bring back because pretty much all the characters they brought back were actually all the child actors, so it's actually a different take.
I want to say everyone except for Randy.
Ralphie? It's Ralphie, isn't it?
No. Randy is his brother.
Yeah, is it Randy? I thought it was Ralphie. That's my bad.
It is Randy.
Okay.
Ralphie is Peter Bitlin's.
You're right, that's Ralphie. Yeah, my God.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah.
I remember it because of this line in particular. Randy lie there like a slug. It was his only defense.
That's right. I knew that. I was testing you.
Hilarious. Still.
Yeah. I did think Randy was kind of being a dick, though. I mean, he did finally show up for Christmas, but like he was like not going to show up when like the dad just died, and he's not going to show up for Christmas. Are you fucking serious, dude? Are you?
Yeah, you're like, are you? Dad just died. Like,
yeah. Like legit, like it's being framed like it was like a couple weeks ago. He just died. Fucking get
like
get
the
your
voiceover. The voiceover. There's at least some point in every sibling's life where there is a certain amount of crap giving that needs to be given when it's. And that was like, man, that isn't. I don't have any siblings, but I have cousins, and I've had to give that sort of a talk to one before.
No, he started giving them crap.
I mean, it was a good.
This is well deserved.
Yeah. Like it was, but I mean, it wasn't like a talk like that. It was more of like a pickup, like, "Hey, why are you feeling this way?" Like a pep talk, I guess. A positive one, though. On my cousin's wedding day, some guy decided to insult her.
Ooh.
So I had to give some positive and be like, "Why are you letting one asshole ruin this day? You get all these people dressed up, rent out this entire place." Just for you to be upset, like, fuck that guy.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, this was good. This was better than I was expecting.
Yeah, I had my doubts.
So did I, very much.
I really did.
Like this was a last minute addition to the schedule, and I was like, okay, let's check it out. And I'm kind of happy I did.
A lot of the stuff that I really enjoyed that I felt kind of had the similar echoey points, like, when they go to visit Santa and, the kids. And, the kids have their experience with Santa while he's running around like crazy, going to get the presents just how his parents did when they dropped him off,
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool. We got to go.
Well, what I thought was interesting was even though it was rough, his kids actually had a positive experience with the Santa.
They did.
Different from his, yeah.
Different, yeah. Well, I mean, they still had to deal with an annoying kid in line.
Oh, yeah, they still had that one.
You want some of my lollipop? No, we're good.
No, for fuck's sake, no.
Last chance.
No.
What was he offering?
He kept offering it, and it's like, no, nobody wants the lollipop you've already licked all over. No. I mean, I guess at the end of the day, he did need help with it, but yeah. Maybe he shouldn't be even tackling that thing when not at home.
Yeah, maybe he shouldn't be maybe he shouldn't be left unsupervised with that thing. That's like a lot of sugar. He's a small kid. I did like the part where he almost killed his daughter.
Oh yeah, no, that was just like, like the snowball fight gone awry. She just in the wrong spot.
Yeah,
Bam.
that I'll admit that was my reaction to going, oh god.
Yeah.
No, also just chuckling.
No, the movie does a good job of kind of getting you caught up in that moment, and then like that happens, and like it's instantly puts you in Ralphie's position, like oh fuck, shit,
my daughter.
Yeah. No.
What was it with the son? What did the son do? He went sledding. Yeah, that's right. He went sledding down that slide.
Yeah.
Or no, that was the drunk.
Yeah, no, that was the drunk guy. The slide, that insane slide.
Yeah, what was it?
I believe it was Schwartz going down, and Flick was saying, "Hey, I'll clear your bar tab if you do it." And then when he gets to the top, Flick's going,
hey.
"No, no, I don't want you to get hurt. Shit."
He's just going down. He's like, "Hey, you know what, Schwartz? I triple dog dare you."
Yeah. He pushes it, and then.
Yeah,
when we realize
you've
what's
been waiting
going on,
for that,
that's
Flick.
when you see him going, wait.
Yeah. I will admit, Flick, you deserve, you had that owed to you.
Mm-hmm.
You had that moment owed to you.
Yeah, well.
I would have been satisfied with that payoff.
Yeah.
I would have been, you know what, screw it, your bar tab's cleared.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure. Without doubt. Shit. Yeah, that's totally a scene that kind of just borrows from the original, but like, that was probably the most obvious, but there's lots of scenes that borrow from the original, but like it does it fairly genuinely. Like,
yeah.
And it works. It works surprisingly well. Like I said, I don't think this is gonna go down as a classic like the original has, but
no.
This is good. If you're looking for a solid continuation of the original, this is exactly what you're looking for. Yeah. I just the whole story, it felt a little played out, but I like how they do it. Like, Christmas is essentially stolen. Like, they're struggling to get all the Christmas presents, and they get everything, and then it's all stolen. Just literally stolen.
All stolen out of their car, yeah.
And then I kind of don't want to give away because it happens right at the end how it gets resolved, but it ends, and it's nice, and it mirrors the original where he's going after the Red Ryder BB gun, and he's so focused on it that he's just forgetting to appreciate the moment. And this one's the same thing. He's so focused on getting the perfect Christmas, on just getting the stuff, and he's missing the moment.
Well, there's also a subplot that's going on that is also distracting him from the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And his mother asks Ralphie to write the obituary for his father.
Yes.
And, that's hard. It would be a hard thing to do. Like, I was trying to put myself in Ralphie's shoes while I was watching it. Kind of thinking, like, God, I don't even know how I would start that.
Yeah, no.
Like, I don't even know. But as it turns out, I think Ralphie just started reflecting on the Christmas past, like the Christmas he got the Red Ryder.
Yeah, no.
And as he said, like, the words just started flowing. And as it ended to be the story we get in the first one, is the obituary he wrote for his old man.
Yeah, which is a nice callback. I like how they did that. Yeah, it's dopey and cliche, but it works.
But
it's a nice callback.
It works. It's sappy and Christmassy, just like the original.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, if you're sitting like not sure about this, because I will say, watching the trailer for this, I was not super pumped.
Like it does do the monsters thing. It undersells the movie.
But the movie itself is pretty damn good. Absolutely worth checking out.
I got nothing against it.
Mm-hmm.
It has a lot of funny points to it, and it kind of almost brings, I guess, that world into like. It definitely modernizes some more of the humor, but still keeping it like a time period movie.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Hey, related news though. Do you know that they're selling that house?
No, I didn't.
That house is on the market currently, right now. The house.
Damn.
The house. Yeah. And I'm kind of
that
surprised
thing's probably
that
gonna go for a lot of money.
Oh, the asking price is very much.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised our state just hasn't declared it like a landmark.
I would almost expect that. Yeah.
I mean, the Shank is.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
That goddamn field with that stone wall with the rocks that have no business being there is.
Mm-hmm.
But that one's not even in our state, is it? That one is in Maine.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Because I think that there's some stuff that was filmed locally, and some of it that was filmed in Maine.
Mm.
Well, I mean, not locally, but I mean, I know that they filmed in the Mansfield Reformatory.
Mm-hmm.
That is the Shawshank Prison.
Yeah.
But yes, the house is in the greater Cleveland area in the state of Ohio. Yes, it does exist.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. But yes, it is there in all of its glory. But not for long. Usually around the holidays, the owners would spruce it up. They'll put the leg lamp in the window, make it look all super Christmassy, open it up for tours. The house looks exactly the same as it did in the original. And as we see in this, because that is the house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was definitely the house.
Like they filmed in the house. Yeah, that which was awesome. And it's just convenient that it's been kept in such good condition since '83.
Yeah, but yes. Good movie. So next week, oh my god, I still need to fix this one.
Minor technical issues.
It happens. All right, so next week.
It does.
Next week we have the last few episodes of Andor to finish, and we have.
I can finally log into Star Wars groups.
Yay! And then we have
so hard not to.
Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special next week too, and that
does come up this week.
Dane from Actual Fandom will be coming on board for the next week's podcast as well. So it should be a fun episode.
So we just have the holiday special and Andor.
Well, I was gonna let him pick something if he wants. So
gotcha.
Yeah. So yes, everyone have a good one.
Take care.
No, I freeze frame before you. You can't freeze frame later. That destroys the illusion.
They think order and chaos are somehow opposites and try to control what won't.
Do you enjoy pain?
Pain don't hurt.